Hey veg heads, we got
Vegan split pea soup.
soup cooking up right here on Vegiverse and this 12-inch carrot. You don't want to miss it. This recipe is super easy. You need onions, garlics, olive oil,
Split peas.
veggie stock, potato, carrot, in a pot, 2 hands and a brain. And you gotta simmer it for 45 minutes, and that is it. And then it is ready to roll. But I'm doubling in this recipe because this is for our lunches throughout the week. So double recipe means double fun, double food, and no one goes starving hungry. We got our 1 onion, our 2 garlic cloves,
Cups of split peas.
veggie stock mix, our 1 carrot. This is actually going to be 2 carrots. It is 1 carrot, but it's twice as long as a regular carrot. Liquid smoke, and the big old potatoes. 2 potatoes. That's basically 1 potato, and this is basically 2 potatoes. Let's get started. We'll start off chopping our onions and our garlic because you have to simmer those a little bit, browning them up before you actually get to put all your vegetables and broth in. I don't usually chop my onions this erratically, but I was getting tired of chopping food, and I already made a bunch of food prep that day, and it was just getting ridiculous, so I decided some of these onions are gonna be big. I was gonna use my mincer, but I decided against it because there's a lot of cleanup with the mincer and it wastes a lot of garlic. So I just chopped these up as finely as I could. I have a sharp knife, but I just don't have the technique. You throw them in the pot, you add a little oil if you want. I didn't, just some water and some vegetable stock. Simmer it up, get it all brown, and then start prepping your other stuff. So this recipe I'm using is a double batch, so 2 cups
Of split peas.
1 very large carrot or 2 regular sized carrots. Just chop these little guys up, and since it was so big I wasn't really sure how to chop it up, but I decided cutting it down lengthwise in halves, then in quarters, and then chop it horizontally, if you will, was the best way to do this. And you know, turned out fine. The chunks were decent size, and they're just as tasty. Doesn't matter how you really cut them. When I meal prep like this, I like to use less dishes as possible, so I try to put all the cut vegetables into 1 bowl, and then I was gonna get to it later. I hate using this peeler. It works, but on the small potatoes, man, it's a pain. I'd much rather use a paring knife, and I probably should have used a paring knife, but I try to save as much vegetables as I can.
What are you doing to my family?
That was a joke for everybody that thinks potatoes are sentient beings. All jokes aside, it amazes me how many different ways you can prepare a potato versus other vegetables. You never hear of whipped celery or big spinach skins. Got your nose. So after everything's browned up, I'm putting in 10 cups of water, and that goes with the 10 teaspoons of vegetable stock. I'm using a tablespoon here because there's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon, so I just use 3 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon. Boom, done. Mix that all up, and then you are ready to add all the vegetables and peas. Once you get all these in here, you want to stir it, mix it all up, and then turn your burner up to high. You want to get this to a boil and then simmer back down to a 1 or a low. Here's me storing my split peas in a glass vessel. Man, do they look so beautiful. And make sure you click the cards at the top of the screen. There's other recipes, there's great workouts that you can do anywhere. 10 minutes is all you need for a new you in 2020. 6 tiny drops of liquid smoke. A little bit of this goes a long way. And then mix that up, and that is the last ingredient. Once this comes to a boil, Again, make sure you turn it down to 1. And then set the timer for 45 minutes. Make sure you stir in between every 10 minutes or something just to make sure it doesn't bubble over. You really should cover your pot. For some reason, I never, but it still turned out very soupy and very tasty and very healthy and very vegan and very awesome. This is the best part here. Well, besides flaunting my one-time use plastic bags in your face, is that there's 13 servings here. I bagged 12. I ate the last serving because, well, I had to test it, obviously. And I didn't film that because I get tired of filming myself eating food. But there are 12 servings here and they stack up nicely in the freezer. You just push the air out, seal it, lay it flat, and it's perfect for lunches. It stacks up fine in your lunch bag, and there's still very hard pieces of potato in here that are very delicious. What are some great meal ideas that you guys like to batch cook and freeze in the freezer for when you're working late? Leave your comments below, I'd love to hear them. This vegan
split pea
soup is super tasty. If you're new to veganism or want to try a plant-based diet, you won't miss the ham. I guarantee that liquid smoke steps up a notch. Is so tasty, so filling, full of nutrients. You can't even go wrong. And guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got videos coming out all week starting today. These recipes are a great way to start veganism in 2020. Try them out, taste them out, start January 2020 with compassion. Keep lifting veg heads, and Happy New Year.